thank you for joining us again with What's the Message? This is the opportunity when we try to squeeze and pack in 7 minutes worth of helpful information that you can carry with your life. You want to take a note, you want to ring a bell every time you hear something that's good and useful for your life. But most of all, you want to share it with somebody that you know and love because it's going to help them. Today, I have a special guest, Dr. Scott Stoll, who is with the Plantrition Project, and he is working with a good friend of Message, Dr. Columbus Batiste, and they are putting together a major conference, the Help Conference, in Huntsville, Alabama, March 24 through 26. And I just want to say a couple of words about Dr. Stoll before we get into a quick conversation. Dr. Stoll is an international leader in lifestyle medicine and a board certified physician specializing in regenerative I can't even say that,
Skeletal, you
skeletal
got it.
medicine. During his career, he provided care to top Olympic, professional, and collegiate athletes, as well as royal families in Europe and the Middle East. He's an innovator, and he's a co-founder of the Plantrition Project, and we're going to get into that in a minute. The International Plant-Based Nutrition Healthcare Conference, the International Journal of Disease Reversal and Prevention, a health equity conference focused on sustainable lifestyle solutions, the HELP conference, as we're talking about. He is a member of the 1994 Olympic bobsled team and served as a team physician for the United States bobsled skeleton team at Lehigh University. That's amazing. We got a lot to talk about.
Thank you. And it's such an honor to be here with you today. I really appreciate the invitation and the support for the conference and the opportunity that we all have to work together to bring some true health to these communities that are really suffering. So I'm grateful. Thank you. Yeah, so the Plantrition Project was an organization that we started more than 10 years ago. And it really came out of my own experience in learning how to implement nutrition and lifestyle in my practice to reverse disease in my patients. And it took me years to learn how to do this. So we started a conference in 2013 to teach healthcare providers about nutrition and how to utilize that as a primary intervention to suspend and reverse disease powerfully. And then we wrapped a for-profit around it to educate healthcare providers around the world, provide them with resources and educational opportunities so they can take this information into their exam rooms and teach their patients how to do this because it gives people true freedom.
Well, you're answering two of my questions right there, and I really appreciate that because you're not just talking about individual lifestyle choices and practices, but you're talking about taking this to the medical establishment and the community, and thereby making sure that we get this ingrained. Tell me, what do you think emotional health has to do with healing altogether? I've always been interested in the balance and what part does that play in your wellness, in particular weight gain and carrying extra weight, and what can we do to restore some emotional balance?
Absolutely. We can't forget that we are three-part beings, right? Spirit, soul, body. They're all integrated, and it all plays into the decisions that we make about the food and lifestyle choices that we're choosing on a daily basis. We also can't forget that a huge influence on those choices is our culture. In fact, the culture is the primary driver of this obesity, overweight, and disease epidemic. Going back into the early 1900s, we don't have a time for a history lesson, but it shifted the way we ate incredibly. For instance, in 1890, the average person ate 5 pounds of sugar per person per year. Today, 140 pounds. 4 pounds of oil, 74 pounds of oil today. 2 pounds of cheese, 32 pounds of cheese today. 0 gallons of soft drinks, 53 gallons per person today. In fact, the average person eats 2/3 of their calories from these calorie-dense, ultra-processed foods, and it's culture. I love what Maya Angelou said. She said, "I did then what I knew how to do, but now that I know better, I do better." And so what I really encourage people as they begin this journey is just to forgive themselves and love themselves, knowing that God loves them, and knowing that it's the culture that has worked against them. We're just steeped in this culture of fast food and processed food. They're just doing what they grew up knowing how to do, taught by their parents, taught by the culture. But we're teaching people how to do better. And so it really takes away guilt, shame, feelings of powerlessness, or I don't have enough willpower to say then I did then what I knew how to do because I was taught by the culture. But now that I'm learning to do better, I can do better
I
tomorrow.
can
I can
do
make a
better.
difference.
I'm in my doctor's office. Doctor says, you need to start this medication. You need to do this, this, and that. I've heard so many people say, I don't want to do this. I want to go the natural route. Now, you, Dr. Stoll, help us with this kind of situation. What would you want us to do? What would you recommend?
Yeah, so first we have to recognize that we have to be honest with ourselves.
Mhm,
So if you don't want to take a medication,
mhm.
you do need to make a significant lifestyle change. You can't just not take the medication and not make a lifestyle change because you're putting yourself at risk. And some of this is also recognizing that your body is amazing and it's been doing everything it can to maintain the highest level of function, even though it's not been getting the right fuel. And so when we make a decision, I don't want the medication, and I just want to add, sometimes medication is important. If you have a pneumonia, you should take antibiotics. If you have an infection, you should probably take antibiotics. So it's not, this is the balance of both. This is good
Right.
medicine and good nutrition. But if you decide that you don't want to take a cholesterol medication, for instance, then you really do need to be honest and make a sincere commitment to change your lifestyle, to learn about it, to own it, to say, this is how I'm going to live for the rest of my life. And I promise you, you won't need to take that cholesterol medication. You can drop your cholesterol 100 points, 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months with a really dedicated lifestyle effort. It takes a community to bring transformation. So our conference is focused, I tell the speakers, we can talk about the problem 10% of the time, but this is a solutions-based conference. We're getting together as a community of people to say, how can we begin taking responsibility and working as a community to bring change inside of these communities, starting now. And so we would love for anyone to join us that March 24th through 26th in Huntsville. If you're a healthcare provider, business leader, faith leader, if you're a leader in any way, agriculture, we want to get together as a community and start having a meaningful conversation to solve the problem. So please join us, plantritionproject.org, help conference. You can find all the information there.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmela. God bless you. And thanks, everyone. Have a nice day.